let's do that right now. We're going to NDG on the local line, 514-597-4500. Robin is there. Hi, Robin.
Hi there.
So?
So I guess you're going to ask me if it was the right thing to do. Basically, I'm a little ambivalent about it in terms of the fire hazard. I think to some extent it's a pretext, but on the other hand, I think there could be an actual fire hazard. I was at the Notre Dame Camp Mall just before they shut it down, and a little campfire actually broke out, while I was there. So it is a legitimate issue, but I do think it's a pretext. But the real issue here is housing. I mean, the people wouldn't be camping out here, there, everywhere if there was proper housing available to them. And as Mr. Levasseur said, I really think Valerie Plante has badly mishandled the whole homeless issue throughout her tenure as mayor. I honestly believe that Danny Coderre did a better job on homelessness than Valerie Plante. And I'm really not impressed with her flip-flopping. I mean, I think not that long ago she was saying, oh, it's okay, they can stay there. And then the next thing you know, she's saying, oh, no, they got to go. She just has zero consistency on the issue. And so here's an idea. And it's an idea promoted before. I was involved to some extent at Occupy Montreal. I didn't start it, but I was there. I documented it.
Okay.
So I think in terms of a political action, in terms of a protest, in terms of sending a clear message to Valerie Plante and the city of Montreal, why not occupy Champ de Mars? It's right out back of Montreal City Hall.
Just in front of City Hall.
Green field.
Yeah.
Hashtag Occupy Champ de Mars. You'll find a few things I've already put out there. So,
Robin, thank you for the call. And you bring up some interesting questions. Thanks so much for joining our conversation. Local number here, it's 514-597-4500. Toll free, it's 1-877-597-4500. Sue Ann McGraw, before we go back to the phone lines, let's just talk a little bit about not so much the suggestion from Robin, but he is saying there that he said Valerie Plante really out of touch on this issue. He thought that the previous administration did better. There were some mixed messages from City Hall here. At one point, the mayor was saying, "Well, we're not going to intervene," and then suddenly, members of her executive committee were saying that, this camp has to go. It's not the right thing to do. I want to ask you just really quickly a little bit more about the camp as a political message, because when we spoke with Guylain Levasseur, he was really clear about that. Does the pressure on politicians, on elected officials, does that disappear when the camps disappear?
That's an interesting question. I tend to agree with Robin. I think people have a right to occupy to some level public space, and I'm going to come back to the safety and security issue, because if it's a real issue, why can't something be done on the ground to ensure people's safety and security, instead of just rapidly moving to eviction, which really a lot of different groups are clamoring for no evictions during COVID, but here we have really good evidence of people being evicted from a camp for those reasons. So there are different initiatives that actually help make a camp safer, and I'm wondering why. And it's not for I don't think the transport ministry, to do that necessarily, but I mean all levels of government. It's just, homelessness is always such a hot potato issue.
Yeah.
And Plante's government has really flip-flopped, and there's been a big lack of transparency, I think, about what's the goal here, what's the objective, what's the perspective, and calling things out. And we are in an election year, and I think that this is a lot of political hot potato posturing, which is really unfortunate, because it's on the backs of people that are really very marginalized and really don't have a lot of options. So I think that, to come back to, is it a political statement? Well, probably part of it is, but it's also a very real, like reality that there is no, affordable.
Right, and to say it's
housing for
one
people
of those
too,
things
so-
doesn't include the possibility that it is also another one of
Exactly.
those things. Yeah, let's go back to our phone lines here.
So that was my input to today's Radio Noon call-in with Sean Appel. And as we can see, an expert in the homelessness situation tends to agree with what I had to say. And so we'll leave it at that. I just thought I'd record that clip because it seems difficult, if not impossible, to grab a segment of it online. So I just thought I'll just record on the screen and take it from there. So I'm going to put this up on YouTube for people who may be interested in hearing what I had to say there. And that's it for now.